What's up, guys? Welcome to Ring Chasers. I'm joined by Corey Walsh, the Patriots man of the hour, coming to you live here. Corey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Tanner. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. You know what? I think Bill Belichick and the Patriots front office knew Ring Chasers was tonight, so they made their big move today just because our show was tonight, so we could kind of not break the news. I mean, everyone's been talking about it all day, but, really get into it.
We've just had time to sit on it. We didn't have to do a knee-jerk type reaction. We get to sit, take in the information, and now we get to talk about it.
Yeah, so I made a video this morning, and I literally just dropped about 1,000 F-bombs in it. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck are the Patriots? Like, Cam Newton, like, what just fucking happened? Like, because we thought he was going to be the guy the whole time. I mean, they were literally stroking him. It's Bill Belichick. This is my guy. This is my guy. This is my guy. Let's get into that in 1 minute. Let's get the ads in here. Caesar Sportsbook, New Jersey, Michigan, Indiana, Tennessee, Colorado, Iowa, Illinois. Promo code SPORTS20RF can get a risk-free bet for $5,000. If you want to bet on Mac Jones to win the NFL Rookie of the Year, do it right now because the odds are going to continue to drop. They were at plus 1,000 earlier today. They're at plus 500 now, so lock that up on Caesars, guys, and make sure you subscribe to the network as usual. The storyline of the hour, or of the day, of the year, of the NFL season, Cam Newton has been released. Yeah, that's a bold statement, but I think it could be true. Nobody expected this, Corey.
No, and I feel like we really should pay homage to Cam, and we should have, in the production meeting, changed his the bottom screen to his font. Yeah, just as one last homage to Cam Watch.
You know what else we have to do as well? We got to contact RJ, who's our video graphics guy, and say, hey, we need a new video. We need a new entry, or a video intro. We need a new intro because Cam's all over that intro. We got to get rid of Cam.
I mean, rest in peace to one of the Patriots' most interesting seasons of all time. And now Cam is like a fading memory along with that. So yeah. I feel bad for Cam. But at the end of the day, I'm not surprised.
So now
I don't know about you.
I mean, you know what? I'm not surprised because this was going to be Mac Jones' team. Like we were talking about before, Cam Newton cannot be a backup. There's no way. But now we got freaking Bud Heavy, Natty Light, chicken finger eating, sweet potato fry, stone cold. Mac Jones coming to town. We got to watch the clip here. This dude has come to take over the New England Patriots, and he is not messing around here. Look at him. When he took the walk on draft night, I never thought he'd be the starting quarterback week one. Never. But
I was really disappointed when he was drafted because I was in the mindset that I wanted Justin Fields. And when I saw that strut up, I was like, oh my God, what have we done? This is a terrible mistake.
So
I just didn't feel like Alabama quarterbacks had a good track record. And at the end of the day, I just don't need him to be a star. I need him to be a Kirk Cousins, a Matt Ryan, and a Jimmy Garoppolo level quarterback. That's all this Patriots team needs. We don't need the second Tom Brady to come down from the heavens and bless us with a 2007 season or onward. We just need consistent quarterback play, and Cam was never going to do that.
And I think Mac Jones is the guy to do that. I mean, you look at what he did in the preseason. He was sensational in the preseason in the sense of we thought this guy didn't have the arm strength. We thought this guy wasn't athletic. And he didn't blow us away with his athleticism. He didn't blow us away with his arm strength. But one, he's accurate as hell. Two, he's efficient. And three, he is a leader and this team respects him. I think that's what we need going into the season.
Yeah, it came out today through other teammates like Dante Hightower and James White, how they were saying that you could tell on day one that Mac Jones was a born leader for the team. They grew to respect him. And I don't think there's really been many rookies that capture a Patriots locker room in the same way. Or maybe they just don't talk about it as much because it's the quarterback position. But this Patriots team definitely likes Mac Jones. Don't think that just because the team apparently loved Cam Newton that they're going to be all pissed off that Mac Jones is suddenly the star. NFL teams want to win, and it doesn't take an NFL genius to realize that Mac Jones was going to be a more consistent quarterback for this offense.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And the fact of the matter is, too, Cam's not a backup. Like you were saying, Cam's too big of a personality to be a backup quarterback in the NFL. He's a former MVP. Mac Jones, I mean, he's the up-and-comer. He knows this is going to be Mac Jones' team moving forward. And it's like, why keep him around for a year? So I understand it from that point. I do think Cam Newton, I thought Cam Newton gave us a better chance to win week one. But when we're looking at this season, we're looking at the future of the New England Patriots. This is Mac Jones' team. So why are we sugarcoating it for 4 weeks? Let's let Mac Jones go, and that's what we're doing. He is, in one day, too, he single-handedly destroyed the quarterback room. As we saw, Brian Hoyer has also been released. Rest in peace, Brian Hoyer.
I somehow have a sneaking suspicion Brian Hoyer will be back to haunt me in my nightmares because that man just never leaves. But I did say on Twitter earlier, it was like Mac Jones basically did the Thanos snap and destroyed our entire quarterback room in like one day. He just came into the room and just said, I am the captain now, and it's all over. And Mac Jones is the last man standing for now, because I've already read stuff from like Ian Rappaport saying how Anthony Simmons, the linebacker, just got put onto IR, and that's going to open up another roster spot just to allow Brian Hoyer back on the roster. So don't cry yet for Brian Hoyer. For his last days in New England are far from over, unfortunately.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a Brian Hoyer guy. I think he's going to help out Mac Jones. Going to be a reliable number 2 there. Hopefully Mac stays healthy. But anyway, so I want to talk about when the news first dropped today. My buddy sent me the tweet, and I was like, is this from like The Onion or like ESPN The Ocho, one of those fake accounts? Like, there is no way this is accurate. Like, Bill Belichick has literally stroked Cam Newton all offseason. Hey, Cam's my guy. Cam's my guy. Like, you do a better impression than I do, but hey, Cam's my guy. Cam's my guy. All right. There's no way Mac Jones is going to start a quarterback. We've gotten that reputation, or we've gotten that rumor, that stereotype. I don't even know what the word is, the whole freaking offseason. And then it comes out that there's no starting quarterback. Cam's like, oh, no, Bill hasn't told me there's a starting quarterback. Yeah, I'm still competing every day. And at that point, like, I think it was like a week and a half ago, probably, like when that interview happened with Cam, then it started clicking in my head, okay, Mac Jones could be the guy in New England. But I never thought Cam Newton would be released. I thought we would keep him as a backup.
Yeah, no, I feel like the song and dance that we heard all in the offseason was basically, so Bill, if Mac Jones was terrible, like Bill saying that Cam's our starting quarterback right after Mac was drafted was just to make it so there's no pressure. Because if you're like saying it's an open competition on immediately and then you go back to Cam Newton, it basically says that Mac Jones did not look good. And that already puts the rookie on a wrong foot with everyone else. So by saying that Cam was our guy, and he really never repeated it much after the beginning. He just said, I'm not going to say who the starter is for week 1 right now. Like after the first preseason game, it was pretty wide open, honestly. It was just everyone knew by Bill not saying something, everyone just had to assume it was still going to be Mac or Cam because he never said otherwise. He never said Mac could get it. He always just said, I'm not going to answer that because Bill, as we all know, does not like to talk to the media whatsoever. So I feel like this was a very like tongue-in-cheek thing amongst the Patriots coaches being like, all right, so if Mac looks really good or outperforms Cam, which he doesn't have to look really good to do that, but if he does that, then we'll just, at the end of the day, make him the starter. I wasn't expecting to be cut either, but the more I sat on it and I thought about it, it's just like I told you, Cam Newton does not have the personality of a backup. Like, yeah, he's a hype man for a lot of people, but he's only a hype man when he's the leader. I don't see him being the backup and still trying to high-five Mac Jones after every touchdown he throws.
Now, what was your thought on that clip? Because the Patriots are like putting on Instagram, oh, Cam's the guy, Cam's the man, like supporting everyone. Like they were all over freaking Cameron Newton's you know what the other night. And the next day he's freaking cut. Like, what's up with that? Come on.
I feel like social media teams have no idea what's going on with like the locker room in general. Like I'm a Cavs fan and they were talking about it was Larry Nance Jr. week for the Cavaliers, and they traded him 2 days later. So I'm starting to get the belief that the social media team just lives on its own separate like department. They don't hear any rumors whatsoever. They're just like, oh, this would be a fun thing to do with Cam. And now they're going like, oh, crap, I should probably delete that or something because this just looks embarrassing.
So I was going back on Twitter today and looking at the replies to that tweet because it came up on my feed, and like people were hammering the Patriots social media team for that. Like not so hammering the Patriots, I guess, in general, for like, you know, being all over Cam and then cutting him the next day. But anyways,
I mean, you got to be all over them.
Yeah. What?
You have to be all over him. He's the starting quarterback. If you like are doing all this Mac stuff and Cam Newton's like, why the hell am I not featured on Instagram? I am the quarterback. That's just gonna like be weird.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you look at Cam Newton, like you said, he's not a backup quarterback. Like that whole, like, you know, freaking chugging down the sideline, like it was all for not all for the show because I love Cam Newton, but he's not doing that as the number 2. There's no way in hell he's doing that as the number 2 quarterback. So I think this is good. Like, you know, I mean, even in sports, like when we played sports when we were younger, whatever, there's cancers in the locker room. And if there's a cancer in the locker room in any area whatsoever, it's not going to work for a team. And I don't think Cam would be a cancer necessarily, but I don't think the support would fully be there for Mac Jones. I think he would always want that spot. And you know what? That's not saying Cam's a bad dude. That's just saying he's a competitor. Like even with me, like when I was playing football, if someone got put in ahead of me, like I didn't want to see him fail. I wanted to see us win, but I wanted to be out there because I felt like I was the better player. And that's probably how Cam feels as quarterback.
Yeah, especially from Cam. It's been like a pretty drastic fall from grace since like that MVP season. It's like he's kind of just a shell of his former self. So you have to think, but as that player, you never really understand that your time is over or that you're over your climax of your career or anything. So Cam is still being like, I'm a starting quarterback in this league. I know someone will probably still want me. But as I was like thinking about it, I'm like, I can't think of many teams in the NFL that need a Cam Newton to help them this year. I mean, the teams that need quarterbacks all are trying to be bad.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a place for him. Like you said, he's a former MVP. There's a place for him. I don't know where it's going to be. All right, we got a comment here. My buddy Grant, I am the show. Remember that Parlay Power Hour. We don't normally see Belichick trust young players. What do you guys think about a rookie quarterback in New England? I wouldn't say that. I would say like we just haven't seen it. Like this has been Tom Brady's team for years. Last year we had Cam. It's just a new era of Patriots football. It's what it's going to be. Like you don't always have that luxury of having a Tom Brady. No, you don't always. You rarely have that luxury of having a guy that's been there for 20 years. Like it's just time to rebuild. And you know what? There's going to be growing pains with Mac, but there's going to be a lot of highs, I believe. One's going to be week 6, week 4, right? Week 4 when Brady comes down. Week 4 when Brady comes down when we whoop his ass. When Mac Jones whoops his ass.
Yeah, I always find myself. I know like. It's like a terrible comparison to throw the Tom Brady situation every time, but Bill has gone to younger quarterbacks over veterans. I mean, you just have to look at 2001. It's Bledsoe was a Pro Bowler, did just take the Patriots to the Super Bowl not too long ago. Before that, he gets injured. Brady goes on a streak, looks really good. He just looks solid. It's not like Brady looked like the Brady we saw in the past 10 years in New England. And he just went for the option that he knew gave the team the best chance to win off of safe offensive plays. I kind of see exact parallels in that sense with what we're doing with Mac. Like, yeah, Cam was a veteran, but Cam also didn't know the playbook super well. Like he struggled with it last year. Mac's basically learning it at the same pace. They both had the same amount of training camp, if you think about it, because last season there really wasn't any preseason, so Cam never really got fully acclimated to the playbook. And now they're both basically readjusting to the new one this year. I feel like saying that Bill doesn't trust the younger players isn't necessarily true. It's just that we're not in the situation where we had to throw out young quarterbacks anymore since Brady. I mean, Jacoby Brissett, yeah, but that was because Brady, again, was not available. Same thing with Garoppolo. Matt Castle was a younger quarterback, but also because of injury. So we really haven't seen it where the quarterbacks were healthy and we needed a young quarterback to come step in.
Yeah, and I do want to give Cam a little benefit of the doubt here. He wasn't a COVID season last year. They had no in-person meetings. They're doing this all over Zoom. He was signed late. I wish Cam the best moving forward. I actually want to read the Instagram. I want to see like his story on Instagram. I want to show it here. I could probably pull it up. Let me see.
Don't feel bad for me. All love. Cam Newton in a weird font.
Let me get the actual. All right. Yeah, so let's see here. So it says, I really appreciate, you can't even read it because of his damn font, but here it is. I really appreciate all the love and support during this time, but I must say, please don't feel sorry for me. # I'm good. 1 finger, 1 pinky, 1 thumb, love. When I look at this, it makes me feel like he knew he was going to be the backup and he asked for a release. That's just my opinion, but I mean, what do you think?
I was kind of waiting for the puff piece where Cam in his next post goes like, thanks to the Kraft family and Coach Belichick for the 2 years I spent in New England. This was great. Nope. He's not. If anything, it's going to be another cryptic Instagram post tomorrow being like, to all the haters, I never liked Boston cream donuts anyway, or something stupid, like something cheesy like that, where it's like a slight diss to Boston. And it's just like, I never really liked the city anyway. You guys never believed in me. Now you're going to suffer as I scramble to find a starting quarterback job in the NFL. Love.
one piggy, one finger, 1 thumb. When I look at Cam though, like last season when he came in, like I was all for Cam. Like I was fired up to see this dude in New England, and he didn't deliver. Like he didn't come through for us. And you know what? Like I said, give him the benefit of the doubt. It was a COVID season, blah blah blah. But still, I was expecting a little more. am I expecting a lot from Mac Jones this year? Not really, but I'm happy about the future. I'm happy this whole storyline, this narrative is behind us. We can move on and finally talk about people that matter, like freaking Ramondre Stevenson and the New England Patriots. I love Ramondre already. It's my boy. I should get a Ramondre jersey. That's what I should get.
I guarantee you'll have to go to like the 9th page of eBay for Ramondre Stevens knockoff Patriots jersey. You'll probably find his Arkansas one faster, honestly, because I feel like you keep on burying Damian Harris. Damian Harris is going to be a stud this year.
I'm not
and
saying,
it's just going to be.
Wait. I never have said Damian Harris is not going to be a stud. I have just said I love Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, he's gotten a lot of work in the preseason. I've seen him run the ball a lot. He runs ever since he had that 90-yard touchdown run on the sweep. Like that was pretty cool. Like I was like, I love this guy. And I thought he was like a short little bowling ball, but he's actually like 6 feet tall and like 200.
I know he's like a freight train.
Yeah, he's
not Derrick Henry level, obviously, no. But you know. He's bigger than Damian Harris. Damian Harris is a short little pudgy dude that's just going to run you over. Mm-hmm. Run for like 6 to 8 yards a carry, you know, if things just turn out well. Just kidding. Yeah. That's not going to happen. But Damian Harris is going to get a lot more touchdowns now that Cam's not here because the goal line vulture is now gone and Cam won't be running it in at the 1 yard line every time. We might see McCorkle just jog his way in maybe if we're lucky.
Yeah. We might see McCorkle jog his way in. We're gonna see it's either gonna be hand the ball to Harris or a McCorkle corner the end zone fade to N'Keal Harry. That's what it's gonna be. That's
yeah, N'Keal Harry. Yeah, when his shoulder feels better. Prayers up to N'Keal Harry. Love. Anyway.
All right. So when we look at Mac Jones, final question, and we'll talk about the preseason game. But when we look at Mac Jones this year, right now on Caesar Sportsbook, you lock him up at plus 500 for the Rookie of the Year. Would you do that, Corey, or no?
I would not do it. I just think that the Patriots offense is going to make – it's not saying that Mac's going to be bad. It's just the way that the Patriots are going to use him, I feel like, is going to be in a very unsexy way. Like, it's going to be game managing to the point where he's going to be – like, I feel like I was going to write an article for Talking Boston where I was going to do 10 bold predictions for the season. I'll spoil one of them. I feel like out of the rookie quarterbacks, Mac would have the highest QBR of the entire class, but he's not going to win Rookie of the Year because it's just going to be safe, little throws, dink and dunks, what we've seen with Brady over the years, except it's not, and that's not going to win Rookie of the Year. He's not going to throw like 35 plus touchdowns. He'll probably throw like 23 and 9 if I had to guess.
Yeah.
But it's going to just be very unsexy, and I would put like any of the other rookie quarterbacks ahead of his odds, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with that. You know, it might be worth putting a little money on just because he's going to get the time, he's going to get the reps. We know there's going to be a lot of other rookie quarterbacks to get some action. But, like, also winning helps you win the Rookie of the Year. I do think the Patriots are going to win games with him this year. I think he's going to be able to run play action. I think he's going to hand the ball off. I think he's going to be able to make clutch throws when he needs to make them. Now, I'm not saying we got to make him throw the ball down the field every single play because we're not going to win games when we do that. But if we have a strong offensive line, we have a good run game, I do think Mac Jones has a successful year.
Yeah, I don't think it really means that we would be unsuccessful. I just think that the way Bill wants to run this offense is run heavy. And I feel like all the touchdowns are going to mostly come off the ground, if like not, I would say like at least 60%. I don't think we're going to make Mac make those insane plays in year one. I feel like we're just going to try to keep his confidence high and have him do stuff he's only comfortable with. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't pick him to win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at what he did in the preseason. I mean, we can look at his whole numbers in a minute here, but like he didn't throw an interception, but he only threw one touchdown, and he had opportunity. There were a couple touchdowns dropped, so we got to give him the benefit of the doubt there.
N'Keal Harry, your guy.
N'Keal Harry is going to be a stud. He's going to make a big play this year that wins us the game.
You know what? You talk a lot about N'Keal Harry. You should get N'Keal Harry jersey. If you're really that confident in your guy, that's the jersey you should get.
Because we're probably going to trade him at some point this year for like a friggin' seventh round. So let's get in here. Let's look at these preseason numbers. All right. So the Patriots beat the Giants 22-20 in New York. Shout out to the Patriots. Big win, undefeated preseason. Did you see Bill's comment after? He's like, well, I'm focused on winning regular season games. Like preseason doesn't mean anything. Like he was like, I
100% agree with Bill. I wouldn't care if we went 0-3 in the preseason.
I agree too, but you know what? The fact of the matter is when you come back for meetings that next day or whatever, 2 days after they give them a day off, like, yeah, I'd rather be a winner than a freaking loser, even if it's the preseason. You know what I'm saying?
I think it was just good that our team, like all of our signings, looked good. The new ones that we made. That's what this season has meant more than any other Patriots preseason I could think of in past memory, because we were like one of the only teams in the NFL giving our first team reps like for like a quarter plus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what? I mean, it worked out in our favor. That's why we went 3-0. And we held off the Giants.
It's almost like other teams only wanted backups in. It was weird.
You know, who was it? Mike Glennon. Nice Glennon went for the 2-point conversion. We shut that down to win the game. I mean, come on now. We're going to the freaking Super Bowl. All right.
If we can stop Mike Glennon, we're set.
Mike Glennon has the longest neck in the freaking world, too. By the way, I know I see it. And you know what? I know he probably has a deal with Zenith helmets, like the concussion helmets. But those helmets make his neck look like a freaking giraffe. Like you got to go sign a deal with Rydell, because you can't wear a Zenith anymore, buddy. Like, you just don't look good. I know you've been in the league forever, but you don't freaking look good.
I mean, between him and Peyton Manning, the longest neck in NFL history would have a pretty good competition there, I would have to say.
But you know what? Peyton's helmet made him look better, I think. Like Peyton's, like, I love that old classic Rydell, like that he had with the face mask that came up like this. Like, that was the thing I had like in 4th grade football or 5th grade football when we stopped wearing those like fake helmets. But like Peyton always looked good. Peyton had swag for an unswaggy guy.
Until he took off the helmet and he had the pad mark right here.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, one thing we can get to talk about Peyton here for a minute, but the one thing I appreciate, did you watch Peyton's Hall of Fame speech?
Yeah.
Like when he like picked on everyone that talked for so long, and that's why they were cut down to 10 minutes. I absolutely love that. I thought that was awesome.
I think Peyton Manning has one of the best personalities in sports, which is probably the most unhot take of all time. Like, I don't think anyone in the comments would be like, "Hey, fuck you, that's not true." Like, if you think Tom Brady actually has a good personality, then you don't know that his entire social media account's run by someone else.
Yeah, Tom Brady does not. I don't think Tom Brady has a great personality. I think he's a winner. Like, Peyton's funny as hell. Like, you watch like Peyton's mic'd up from NFL films. He I remember, I forget what year it was, but like it just goes through like his whole career. And there was one where he's talking to the kids about the Gatorade, like just the little like water boys. It's like, what kind of color Gatorade you got today? I can't do a Peyton Manning. I'm not a freaking comedian. Like, what kind of Gatorade?
I feel like he was just in the room.
He drinks it. He's like, tastes pretty good. Some of the kids get it's too sweet. Others get it's too hard. Dang, you guys are crushing. Like, just like doing like stuff like that, like interacting with the kids. And you know what? I will say though, give Tom Brady some credit. Like, he's gone toe to toe with like Ray Lewis and stuff. Like, he'll be like, well, like he'll get Ray Lewis will hit him. He'll be like, what? And he'll come out, what? Like, they'll just go, what? But he's not that funny. Tom
Brady is like athlete funny, but Peyton Manning, like if he wasn't an NFL quarterback, he would still be funny, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. It got like that Southern Tennessee boy. So let's get into it. 22-20 win over the Giants. The way they did this, Corey, like I didn't turn the game on till the second quarter, so I missed Cam's action. I had to go back and watch it later. But like when I saw Mac still playing, and Cam only played a little bit, I'm like, all right, Cam's going to be the guy on opening day, no doubt about it. Mac's just getting the work in. Then we'll bring Brian Hoyer in for cleanup duty for a couple series at the end. Obviously, that didn't happen. So what was your take when you were watching Cam take? He only threw, 10 passes or whatever? I don't even know.
Yeah, he threw 10 passes. He threw a 50-50 ball up there for Myers that was, like, stripped by the linebacker. And then Hernandez, I think, or Fernandez, one of the two. And he and that was, like, not – I mean, they were – like, Scott Zolak was saying, like, the whole time during the game, he's like, Cam's got to go for one of those aggressive passes. He's being way too conservative. Yeah. And then when he did, he's like, terrible throw. I'm just like, Cam was just like so safe. It was like they don't even want to see what he was capable of in my mind, or maybe they didn't. He just kept on doing check down throws. But I never felt like Cam with the ones looked like he was trying to push the ball upfield a lot. I feel like he's so in his head now. He was trying to play it safe so he probably wouldn't lose the job. And then in comes Mac Jones in the second quarter, and he looked terrible in like the entire second quarter. He was like missing passes. It's outside of like the one throw to Asiasi where he just basically led him to the ball to being open, where I think it was like a 20-yard pass, or no, maybe it was Wilkerson. It might have been the pass to Wilkerson first, but him and Asiasi were cooking all game. But after like halftime, Mac Jones turned into a completely different player and really salvaged that preseason game for him, because if he sat after the second quarter, you would have just been like, well, that's done. It's going to be Cam, because Mac actually didn't look great.
Yeah, I mean, so 10 of 14 on the night, 156, had his first touchdown of the preseason. Did take 4 sacks. That's the thing that you're going to get. But realistically, like, you're going to get that with Cam Newton. Like, I'm not saying he's the most elusive guy in the pocket by any means. He can just bowl people over. He can escape a little more. But, like, I don't think we lose a whole lot there. What do you think? Maybe I'm talking out of my ass here, but
I felt Mac definitely was confused by some of the coverages the Giants were throwing at him. There were times where he could have thrown. There was a time specifically, I obviously don't remember like the exact minute of the quarter or anything, but there was Gunner open on the flat to the right, heading out of a little out route, and he could have hit him, but he kind of stayed with like against doing it because, you know, I feel like rookie quarterbacks get drilled. Don't throw towards the sidelines.
Yeah.
Try to keep it within, like, try to keep it around the hashes, but I mean, at the end of the day, rookie quarterbacks are going to get sacked a decent amount. They don't really understand how the complex packages that defenses will be throwing at them nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what? The one thing about Mac, the thing I'm most excited about, whether he averaged 3 yards per pass or 20 yards per pass in the preseason, like, the dude didn't try to force things. Like, why has Tom Brady been so successful for so long? Because he takes sacks and he lives to play another down. He doesn't turn the football over. He punts the ball. He doesn't try to force anything. If we get that from Mac this year, we can be successful because we have the defense that can compete with teams. If we punt and we don't put them in a rough spot, we're going to be okay. We just can't – Mac can't do stupid shit, which he's probably going to do a little bit, obviously. He's a rookie quarterback, but he's got to try to cut that down, obviously. And he didn't do it in the preseason. I mean, he was pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, I feel like with Josh McDaniels, too, he's going to come up with so many creative sets and plays that are just going to allow for easy passes to be available for Mac. But I feel like he won't have many situations where he really needs to force anything. And also, I just feel like Mac Jones at the end of the day is like, all rookies are going to make mistakes, but I feel like he's been with 2 coaches that really punish turnovers. I'm not saying like there's no coach in the league that's saying like, go ahead, turn the ball over. I don't care. Outside of like Bruce Arians. But Mac Jones is, I feel like I will be shocked if he had over 10 turnovers in the entirety of the season, just from the way that the offense is going to run and what they're going to allow him to do.
Oh, definitely. I mean, and to top it off too, like you were saying, if you get to play for Nick Saban in college and Bill Belichick in the pros, like, you're one of the luckiest guys in the world. I know that's probably not easy playing for those dudes, but like, still, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn what wins games. You're going to learn how to operate every day and be a professional. Like, we're in good shape there. The fact of the matter that he played for Nick Saban, who's a Bill Belichick guy, like, it's Bill Belichick of college football. Like, it's going to be good for us. I think it's a good mix. And that's another reason the Patriots took him, obviously, because Nick and Bill are like besties.
Yeah, that only works so well sometimes.
Yeah.
With offenses from Nick Saban. Unless you're taking one of the Alabama running backs or one of the wide receivers nowadays, every other offensive position for them is kind of a question mark.
Yeah.
We still don't even know what Tua's like or Jalen Hurts.
Well, week 1, we're going to get a little Tua versus Mac action. It's Alabama. Like, the whole league is being taken over by Alabama, just to let you know.
It's the Alabama Bowl, basically. There's probably going to be at least like 10-plus players on both sides that were taken from Alabama because Brian Flores is a Belichick disciple and Belichick loves Alabama. It's going to be like a wide spreading web of reasons why Alabama players are around the NFL. And they're all going to go from a tie to Belichick to a tie to Saban at the end of the day.
100%. So, I mean, we look at some of the other highlights of the game. Like we were talking before, J.J. Taylor impressed the hell out of me. I mean, 9 carries, 76 yards. Yeah, he was in there. He was at mop-up duty at the end of the game, but he still ran the ball really freaking well. I love our running back room. I mean, you got Taylor, you got Harris, you got Ramondre freaking Stevenson. I mean, you got James White. You got guys that can run the football. So very excited about that. What did you see from that position group?
I really like how we use JJ Taylor situationally. We've used him in so many different sets. Like we used him in 3rd and short. We used him in longer, like 2nd down and like 15, giving him little just little passes to the outside or a little handoff toss to the right or the left. And he gains yards. It's very rare for me to see him actually lose them. He gives me such severe Shane Vereen flashbacks that I feel like I'm just watching another version of Shane Vereen again. I know it's like, I feel like when every Patriot running back comes in, because we all have like Patriot running backs that did certain things well. It's like, what Patriot running back is he comparable to? Because you could find one for like anything. Like the minute that we took Ramondre, it was, oh my God, this guy's LeGarrette Blount. Now it's going to be with JJ Taylor. Like, well, I mean, I'll see that when Ramondre gets 17 touchdowns in a year, like LeGarrette Blount did that one time.
Wait. I want to clarify my statement. More elusive. I don't think he's
definitely more elusive.
That's over. Yeah, Blunt's not going for a 95-yard touchdown run on a sweep. That's just not happening.
No. LeGarrette Blount's legs only allowed him to travel in one direction, and that was forward. Yeah. He could not go backwards. He couldn't go sideways. It was going to be, I'm just going to run wherever the ball is handed off to me. That's the direction I'm going to take it, and that's it.
100%. So let's touch on the defense here a little bit. I mean, defense stepped up, made some big plays. Even the backups at the end of the game, shutting down their 2-point conversion. Gilmore's going to miss 6 games this year. I think that's going to hurt us a little bit. But again, we were kind of expecting that. We didn't think he would start the season on the active roster.
Yeah, no, I mean, J.C. Jackson, hopefully he keeps his form up from last year. He led the league in interceptions last year, or tied the league leading in interceptions last year. Hopefully Jalen Mills will now step up and look like a decent corner. I mean, I kind of liked him more as the third corner per se, like keeping him in the slot or moving him around, keeping it much more flexible. Jawan Williams, I thought might have been cut in the preseason, and it looks like he's now going to be one of our major corners for the season, so that's a little terrifying. But at the end of the day, I feel like the way that the Patriots are going to run it, like they're going to just be so creative with their secondary, because their strength now is their linebacker. Their front seven is going to be so good this year that quarterbacks won't have a ton of time to really look around the field. And hopefully if J.C. Jackson could play as a 1 and Mills can look competent enough as a 2, I won't be that concerned. But obviously having Gilmore back would be a huge difference.
Well, you look at every year, like the best secondaries usually have really good front sevens because they get to the quarterback. So if we can do that, it's going to take some pressure off us. I mean, it's 6 weeks. It's a lot of weeks. But again, we got freaking 17 games this year. We're going to have to win football games late in the season. So I think we can survive as long as we get after the quarterback. That was an issue for us last year. You know who didn't look good at all to me? What's his name? What's my dude's name? Chase Winovich. Winovich didn't look great, even rushing the passer this week. Like, I saw a few clips of him. He got stoned by the offensive line. And the Giants have the worst offensive line in football. One of them.
Yeah, that was a really big understatement. Like, the Patriots, all you were seeing from Patriots insiders was, man, that front seven looks vicious. They got to Daniel Jones so many times in that game. And I'm like, yeah, well, their starting left tackle that they drafted in the first round 2 years ago doesn't even look like he belongs in like an XFL game. He gets pancaked and flattened by any pass rusher that's right in front of him. Uche looked like he was going to be Chandler Jones 2.0 or like JJ Watt level. I'm like, oh my God, Uche took a huge leap. And then I realized, man, this Giants O-line is literally in shambles. And no wonder they waited to play Daniel Jones this long, because they knew he was going to get a rib broken or maybe like his collarbone snapped in half by one of whoever they were playing.
Yeah. So you look at Winovich, like he did have a half a sack the other night, but like I just remember seeing a few clips of him when it's hard to miss with his freaking blonde hair, but like he got stoned by the offensive line. That's not good. Like after towards the end of the game, I think it was, I don't know if you heard this because you stopped watching when Brian Hoyer came in. But yeah. Like at the end, like I was watching the Giants broadcast because I don't know why I was watching the Giants broadcast. So it was just what was on. But they were like, well, you know what? We got some time until the season starts. We got 2 weeks now, but we got to figure out a way to clean up this offensive line or we're not going to do anything. Like the offensive line in New York is like horrendous. It's awful. So if we couldn't get to Daniel Jones the other night, we had issues.
That would be a concern.
Yeah, but Chase Winovich just didn't look good, which kind of scared me. So hopefully we get some creative sets to get him rushing the passer a little bit better, having him work his hands. I don't know. I'm not an NFL defensive line coach, so I really can't critique him. But all I know is he got shut down.
Yeah, I mean, if this the Patriots defense last year that couldn't really get to the quarterback, I feel like they still would have made pressure on Daniel Jones with the way that offensive line was playing on last Sunday. Oh my God, it just feels like so long ago now. With all this Patriots news, it's like, we played on Thursday so many times in the preseason. I'm like, was it a Thursday? Was it a Sunday? I don't know. But actually, I saw this is just so random. During the Patriots coverage, they were like, did you know when the last Sunday preseason game was for the Patriots, and it turns out it was 2011 in August against the Buccaneers, which I actually went to that game in Tampa.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was when the season right before Tom Brady tore his ACL, and I watched Matt Castle play against the Buccaneers, and I remember I was just like, man, this Matt Castle guy sucks. I'm like, if we ever had to play Matt Castle, I was like 10, and I was just like, if we ever had to play him, we would suck. And then I went home, I went to my PSP, I went to Madden, I was playing as the Patriots, I cut Matt Castle that day, and then Matt Castle became our starting quarterback for the rest of the year. That was depressing.
But you know what, though? We're not in that shape with Mac Jones. Mike, what is his name? McCorkle. What's his middle name? He's got a cool middle name, too. It's like, it's Matthew. Isn't it Matthew McCorkle?
Yeah, Matthew McCorkle Jones.
Matthew McCorkle Jones is going to lead us to the promised land. All right, Corey, I got final question for you tonight. We're at 35 minutes. We'll start wrapping up here. But the Patriots had the last game of the 2021 preseason. Do they play in the last game of the 2021-2022 NFL season? You know what game I am referring to, Corey. Do they play in it?
This is going to shock a lot of people. I'm going to say no.
You said last time they got a stranger.
I think they have a good chance to make the playoffs. I feel like a lot of people, like the line in Vegas is like, I think 9.5. And that's exactly like at the teetering point for me. Cause I feel like we can either go 8-9, 9-8, or 10-7. I feel like that's like our threshold. I don't see us being any worse. And I don't see anything close of a high chance for us being that much better. I don't know about you though. You're a very optimistic guy, so we'll see.
I am everyone says I'm an optimistic guy, so I appreciate that. I don't know if 10-7 is going to get us in. Like we were saying before, with this whole 17 games, do you have to be 11-6 to realistically get in? I don't think 10-7 is going to get you in as a wild card team, but I don't know. I think
the only counter I have is that if we're saying the AFC is as stacked as it is, then you play more AFC than you do NFC. So the good teams are going to lose to the other good teams. Yeah. And we play most of the best teams we play this season are NFC teams. Like our 17th game that was thrown in was Dallas. If we were playing like an AFC team, then I would be a little more concerned. I would say we just need to play well against the NFC and hope the AFC beats the crap out of each other.
Yeah, I agree with that. And you know what? You know what I'm focused on, Corey? You know what I'm focused on?
No.
Miami Dolphins week 1. That's it.
Wow.
That's it. We're on to Miami, and we're on to our betting palooza show next week, whatever we're going to call it. We're going to do like all these future bets, see if the Patriots have a chance to win any of them. As we saw, Mac Jones is probably our best chance to win an award. He's not going to do that according to Corey. So I don't know how the show is going to be. But we're going to do that. We're also going to preview the week 1 matchup against the Dolphins. We'll either do it Tuesday or Wednesday night next week. So very excited about that. Corey, final thoughts for the show tonight. This was a blast. Matthew McCorkle Jones is the guy.
Thank God. No offense to Cam. Again, love to Cam. Nothing against Cam. Hope nothing but the best. I'm sure Houston will love having you as their starting quarterback. You will have a great time, and you'll probably go like 5-16. Yep. That was generous because that roster is terrible. It has nothing to do with Cam.
Yeah, Cam's not going to save that roster. But, I wish Cam the best. Here's my final thought. Wish you the best, Cam. I love you. Pinky, finger, thumb. Love you. All good. All respect to you, man. I'm going to start tuning into Cam Newton's YouTube channel because his YouTube videos get so much better when he doesn't have a job. It's like
he's giving me all these weird workouts.
Yeah, he's walking on the treadmill. Just don't doubt me. Don't doubt me. Just walk. I'll be back. I'll be back. Then he gets signed by Houston next week. I'll be like, told you motherfuckers I was back.
I can't wait to see him on the shop like 6 more times talking about how his experience in New England was. Just hearing like Maverick Carter being like, hey man, what was New England like? Nah, that was in the past, man. Love.
I hate those Boston cream donuts. That shit sucks. Dunkin' Donuts. I hate Dunkin' Donuts.
I never liked Bud Light. Mac did. Wonder what that means.
Mac, you think Mac drinks Bud Light? Mac drinks Bud Heavy. You don't turn into Mac Jones unless you're down in Bud Heavy. Mac Jones went from Natty Light to Bud Heavies as soon as he got his big contract.
I feel like knowing Mac, he just wants to consume as much as possible. He knows drinking Bud Heavies would limit that. And if he wants to defeat a 30 rack, he's going to just take them one at a time. Bud Lights.
I would love if we ever got big enough, we need to have like a night where we just go to Buffalo Wild Wings with fucking Mac Jones and just drink Bud Lights and eat just as many wings as we could possibly eat. That would be fun.
I think you should just do it now. Like, lose out on a good time.
Listen, the Patriots knew that they were going to fire Cam Newton today because Ring Chasers was tonight. You heard it here first. Inside
scoop. Don't look at Rappaport or Shefty. They don't know that. This is our scoop. We're breaking it.
We broke it pretty quickly, honestly. I think the Sports 2.0 network was like, we were up there. We were like 15 minutes behind. But hey, you know what? That's good enough to get Mac Jones out to Buffalo Wild Wings for the night.
Only the best in the business right here.
There you go. All right, guys, that's the show. Caesar Sportsbook, New Jersey, Michigan, Indiana, Tennessee, Colorado, Iowa, Illinois. Promo code SPORTS20RF. Risk-free bet to $5,000. Put it on Mac Jones to win Rookie of the Year. Why not? Subscribe to the network as usual, and we will see you guys next week for another episode of Ring Chasers. Go Patriots.